Hello, and thank you so much for joining me today. I am Tracy Moore with Moore Marketing Advisors, and this week I am talking to you about technology. So if you have a small or medium-sized business and you feel a little overwhelmed by all of the technology choices out there, that's what I'm covering. So if you missed what I've covered earlier in the week on Monday, I talked about the 4 types of technology every business needs. Those include a CRM system and an email system, which I will cover later this week. I talked about how you need a website and accounting software. And yesterday I got down deep and talked about the different types of accounting software that are out there for small and medium-sized businesses, and the ones that I like and the ones that I have used. Now today I'm going to be talking about websites. So if you don't have a website, no excuse. There are websites out there that you can do yourself, so you don't need to hire a developer. We're also going to talk about some solutions for you if you have a WordPress site so that you can edit that site yourself. And then we'll talk about who needs to have a website developed from scratch and when you need to get a developer involved. So let's go ahead and jump right in. We're going to start with those do-it-yourself sites. Now, first let me say that all of the sites I'm talking about today come from my knowledge either of putting websites together. I've done 3 in the last 18 months, something I wouldn't suggest, but I'll tell you what I've learned. Also from things that my friends have used who are entrepreneurs and some of my employees have used. So I have several of my employees who have used a do-it-yourself site. Many of them come with a very visual background and degree, so they want to be able to highlight their work. And they've done their sites on a Wix site. That's W-I-X. Now this isn't all do-it-yourself, and you shouldn't need to hire a developer. I'm sure you can go on YouTube if you need a few tutorials. Another site very similar to Wix is Squarespace. I'm not as familiar with Squarespace, but it is one that you might want to take a look at. And if you are an e-commerce, so you're selling a product online, definitely take a look at Shopify. Shopify is very good for anyone who is looking to sell online or over the phone or mobile devices. So those are the 3 do-it-yourself. Now granted, with do-it-yourself sites, you're going to have less functionality. However, you don't have to hire a developer, so definitely if you're starting your business and you're on a budget, go ahead and start with those platforms until you start making money, and then you can move over to the next level, which is an edit-yourself site. Now, I have used Joomla, which I didn't like very much. My last 2 sites have been on a WordPress site. I bought my WordPress site and my URL through GoDaddy, and I also host through GoDaddy. You don't necessarily have to use GoDaddy, but I've been very happy with the service that I've received. And I know that on one of my first websites, we used a local server in the US that wasn't GoDaddy, and there were a lot of connectivity issues. So I haven't had any of those with GoDaddy, and I've had a site with them for a year. Now, with WordPress, you're going to have to select a theme, and then there are plugins. Plugins help you have those little extra things that your site can do for you. And your theme is basically the look of your site. Now you edit them once they get in there, so your site won't look like everyone else's who uses that same theme, and there's usually multiple options. I'm going to tell you 2 different themes that I have used and I'm very happy with. One is Thrive Themes. It's great for online businesses. It has lots of cool functionality and plugins that you can use. The only downside is it's a little expensive. It was $250 for a full year. And I know there are themes out there you can buy for around $25, $50. So it is a little bit higher on the budget side. However, I'll let you know, I did all of my own landing pages and all of my back pages. So I had a developer who helped me set up the framework and helped me design the primary page on the cover, and then I was able to do everything in the back, and I'm not really that technical. He used Divi, and Divi is very similar to Thrive. It's less expensive. I don't find it quite as easy to use as Thrive, but it's definitely one that you can edit. The importance to being able to edit your own site is that when you want to add a blog or you want to make a news change or you want to make any edits, you don't have to call your web developer and you don't have to have a web developer on retainer. Plus, you can do it quite quickly. So we've covered do-it-yourself, which you can do all by yourself. A WordPress, yeah, you can probably do it yourself if you're technical. If not, you might want to go ahead and get a developer, but you can definitely edit yourself and ask your developer to help you learn the site and where you can make edits. And finally is from scratch. Now, I've worked with several businesses that had to use from scratch because they had a complicated e-commerce system. And if that's the case of your business and you're selling a large priced items and your competition uses a very sophisticated website, you definitely want to get a web developer involved. In that case, you also might want to have a retainer contract with your web developer so that they can make changes as you go along. So today we covered all the different types of websites that you can do and for any budget. So once again, there's the do-it-yourself with Wix and Squarespace and Shopify. There is the middle ground where you can edit yourself and you're going to be looking at probably a WordPress site and then you can pick the theme. And the themes that I've used and been happy with are Thrive and Divi. And then finally, if you really need a website that's more complicated, definitely get a web developer involved and think about having a contract with them so that you can have a relationship where they can continuously make changes. It'll help with your search engine optimization, your SEO, and it'll make your customers happy because your site doesn't always look the same. So thank you for joining me today. In our next episode, I'm going to start talking about CRM and email systems. They're really important for you to have, and we'll talk about why you need them and the legal reasons that you need them and which ones are available out there and are getting the most rave reviews. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Again, this is Tracy Moore. Have a super day.